Hey, Mickey and
Sammy here.
I want to talk to you guys about one of our favorite secrets on how we get to eat as much food as we possibly can so that we can enjoy the food that we eat. So this is an example of just a few of our meals that we eat throughout the day. I'm going to show you how you can do the same.
Hey guys, welcome to the Superbowl Theory with Sammy and
Mickey.
So, what the heck is the Superbowl Theory? The Superbowl Theory is you have a big bowl, hence the Super Bowl, and you have all of your different ingredients that you are going to be adding to it. Why do we utilize it? Because it makes life a lot easier. I used to be one of those people that would have like fancy meals and it took hours to prepare. This does not take hours to prepare.
And then she'd get bored. She'd spend all this time like making these fancy recipes, and then in a couple days she's like, I'm tired of this lasagna. It's disgusting.
Exactly.
So this saves time. It's also a good way to create a staple in your diet. Like one of the things that makes it really easy to stay on track is to have things like go-to foods and then have a couple meals that you can add some variety in. So like for both of us, we use like the Superbowl Theory or like doing this, having constant meals to help us reach our goals for a few of our meals throughout the day, and then either breakfast or dinner or one of the meals, it allows us to have some variety. So breakfast, something fresh, or dinner, something like that, but this creates a good balance, a staple, and the ability to give you some variety.
Exactly. So how does it work? Well, I've already pre-measured my romaine lettuce. Romaine lettuce is amazing because it has so many micronutrients and you can eat so much of it. And I know for me, I like to have big volumes of food, so this gives me a lot of less room in my tummy, so I feel more full. So how this works is you have your Super Bowl, and you put it on the scale. So obviously you would zero the scale out before you put the ingredients in with the bowl on it, and then you would put your lettuce in. Depending on the weight capacity of your scale, you can either start to add your ingredients and then zero it out every single time, or if you're like a beast.
It depends on how much food you eat. I max out the scale, so I have to do separate bowls and then put it all in one and mix it up because it weighs too much food. So
exactly.
Depending on how much you're eating and how much it's going to weigh, obviously it's going to be a little bit different. But the goal is basically to get all of the ingredients in a bowl, mix it up, and then it gives you some awesome meals throughout the day, and you don't have to worry about breaking it up or making sure that you're on track.
Exactly. So best thing to do, especially if you're a beast like this man, is if you have smaller amounts, so lesser grams in the foods that you're eating, you want to measure those first if you're using the same bowl. Sometimes when the bowl starts reaching its max capacity, then when you start to add the smaller ingredients, it F's up the scale, and so we don't want to do that.
It's not as sensitive once it's maxing out.
Exactly, and when we are adding oil, we want to be as precise as possible because as we know, fat has the most calories, and if we're adding a whole bunch extra, then that's no bueno. So I already have my romaine lettuce in here. I'm going to add my oil. He likes to put in his rice. You want to make sure that you're adding it slowly so that, like I said, see, we're already at 9. I got to get to 10, so I need one more.
Boom.
No, there it is. There it is. All right, perfect. I have actually put too much oil, and if that's the case, I have usually, yes, I do take a paper towel and wipe it off, and or I'll adjust my other numbers if I haven't prepared my other meals.
She's like that person you see where they get pizza and like a
yes, that's me. Exactly. All right, so if these weren't already pre-measured, then I would zero out my scale again, and then I would add each ingredient. So I have rice and I have celery. Celery is another one of those amazing things that you can have a whole bunch of and it's not going to break your caloric threshold. I have green beans, carrots, asparagus. Asparagus, another one of those things, especially when it's on sale at Sam's Club. It's amazing.
These are like her go-to ones when she's on a little bit lower calories. So like right now she's building her calories back up. So she has a lot of food that has high volume but low calories, so she can still get, and they're full of nutrients, so she gets a lot of nutrients from the food, and then she can have a whole bunch of it. Because you can hit the same amount of calories that are going to be in this bowl in like one or two like protein bars or a shake, but that's not as fun. Like if you're going to have 2 protein cookies and a shake, that's going to be boring, and for me it's going to be just enough to piss me off. Like this at least like makes you feel like you're eating a lot of food, and so you get more out of it both like emotionally and like physically. So this is one of the reasons that we do it. Allows us to just enjoy food. One of the problems that we get with a lot of people when they start to, eat healthier is that they don't want to do it because they love food. So do we, which is why we try to do everything we can to eat as much of it as possible.
Notice.
This is how she gets vascular.
Yeah, grinding it. So now I have all my stuff together, so I'm going to mix it. My bowl is no longer very super anymore. This is the challenging part, is mixing it together. Let me grab my spatula. I like the one that has the rubber handle because I can scrape it all out at the end.
The spatula, not the handle.
Oh, sorry, rubber end. You know what I mean. And so obviously be careful because every single macro counts, even that like grain of rice. I always get pissed off as I'm eating when something falls on the ground. I'm like, oh, it's 5-minute rule. You just pick it up and just put it in your mouth. No shame in the ground game, okay guys? Make every macro count. All right, so you're gonna mix it up, and then once it's all mixed, you would disperse it in however many meals you want to eat it in, and then you get to enjoy it. So best thing to do, calculate how many meals you want, so how much protein, how much carbs, how much fat you're going to have for those meals. Figure out the ingredients that's going to make up those macros, mix it in a big bowl, disperse it into that, and then you are set up for the day.
And if you want to have some variety of, like, if you wanted to have that hot, fresh breakfast or dinner, just subtract whatever you're going to be having for dinner out of whatever would be going in the bowl. So if you're like, hey, look, I'm going to have 40 grams of protein for dinner, 35 grams of carbs, and 20 grams of fat, that's awesome. Just subtract that from your daily total. And then the rest of what you have left would be what goes in the bowl. Then it allows you to eat freely throughout the day from what you've made in the bowl, and then still enjoy your fresh dinner and be like perfectly in line with what it is you're working towards.
Exactly. All right. Get at it. Get at that Super Bowl. And this is our final product. Doesn't it look amazing? So this is about 210 calories in each container. And
so wait, it's like this, right?
Yes.
There you go.
About 210 calories. So think about it. Now, doesn't this look like a lot of food? Look at how thick that is. What is that, like 3 inches? It's a lot. So it's gonna fill my stomach up a lot. And I want to show you a comparison. Now here's a protein bar. Yes, it is delicious. But look at the size of it. How many calories do you think this is? How many calories?
I know how much it is.
I know. He's cheating. But it's 220 calories. There's more calories in this little bar than there is in this entire meal. So that's one thing that we really want you to think about is when you go and reach for that protein bar, sometimes, yes, it's easy, but is it gonna fill you up? Not necessarily. It'll give you those calories that you want, but you may not feel satisfied because your tummy is not gonna feel full. So if you take the time, do the Superbowl Theory, and actually prepare your meals, you can grab a nice, healthy, wonderful, voluminous meal that's going to fill you up and leave you satisfied for that much longer. So you make the choice, this or this.
And so we've done both throughout, our journey. And so sometimes, like she said, these are necessary, they're convenient. When you're traveling, when you're busy, these are awesome. But most of the time, for us, at least for me personally, if I eat these too often, one, I don't necessarily feel like this fills me up. So even though it has the calories I need and the fuel I need, I'm not happy eating it. And I get bored really fast, which makes me want to eat other things. So if you're living off things like this and protein shakes, then it's easy to be like, all right, I'm gonna stop and go have a big dinner. I'm gonna eat more of them, and it's easier to overconsume because you're not necessarily happy with the food that you're eating, which is why things like this allow you to feel like you're getting a lot. You actually feel that you're getting all the nutrients that you need, and then you're not necessarily looking toward other things to eat to make yourself happy.
So take the time, you deserve it and are worth it.